What's going on, everybody? What up, what up, what up? Real Talk with Rich is back in the building one more again. It's your boy, Rich, back from fall break. It has been a minute since I've seen your faces. I was here Wednesday night with Paul when we did the Wednesday wrap-up show, but Real Talk with Rich has kind of been on a little break or whatever. So my producer, he, kind of was gallivanting all over the globe and that kind of thing. And so I decided to also take the time off to kind of chill and get some stuff done behind the scenes and all that wonderful good stuff. So we're back in the saddle. What's going on? So, yeah, man. So let's just hope you guys had a wonderful day. Hope you had a great weekend. We here Sunday night, get your week started. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shenanigans, of course. First of all, let me. This pains me. Oh, this pains me to say, but congratulations to the New York Yankees for making the World Series. Y'all hadn't been since 2009 because the Astros have been y'all daddy. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Y'all hadn't been there since 2009 because hey, the little team down in H-Town has been keeping y'all at bay, but this y'all year looks like. So congratulations to the New York Yankees. Y'all in the World Series. And tonight, you guys are gonna find out whether or not y'all gonna play the Dodgers or the Mets. I'm hoping for a Subway Series personally, but I'm not mad at a Dodgers-Yankees World Series. You know what I'm saying? That's classic. So baseball, as far as baseball goes. So yeah. Want to shout out to the Green Bay Packers, who barely beat the Texans on this afternoon, I should say. It was a good game, 24-22. Hey, Jordan Love is no joke. That guy's the business. And we just got to do a better job as far as the line goes, man. Joe Mixon should have 200-yard games every week, in my humble opinion. But, they got to work on that, though. So, yeah. He said, sound like Uncle Roro, speaking of H-Town. Nah, man. Nah. Anyway, what's going on, y'all? So, we had that going on today. So the Broncos beat the Saints. The Saints got this thing talking about who that gonna beat them Saints? Who ain't gonna beat them Saints? I don't know what's going on down in New Orleans. And say that beating last week wasn't enough. Y'all wanted some more of that? So, hey, it is what it is. Bo Nix had 75 yards on the ground. He didn't do much passing, but yeah, that dude got wheels. So shout out to the Broncos for doing their thing too. Kansas City 49ers game. That was a dope game. What's going on, Robin Moreau Jr.? I gotta say, man, that looked like that might be the Super Bowl. That might be the rematch, but it was a good game. So I enjoyed that. Shout out to the Washington Commandos. Good Lord. What frustrated that, man? That dude, man, they got a squad. Washington for real. They for real. They probably gonna win that division. So it is what it is. So they beat the Panthers today 40-7. So that wasn't no joke. He said, who they Bengals? Yeah, the Bengals won today too. Man, shout out to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun out for the rest of the year. Man, the Cleveland Browns brass has got to. Y'all make sure y'all keep an eye. Y'all need to put the whole Cleveland Browns front office on suicide watch, because that contract is dead in the water. Y'all owe that dude a lot of dough. And y'all have no draft picks. Shout out to the H-Town, Houston, Texas, who clearly got the best of that trade and that transaction It's not good for y'all, man, down in Cleveland. Shout out to my man Mike Carson. I don't know, bruh. It looked kind of bad. So that happened today. Bills did their thing. Amari Cooper who was chilling in Cleveland, scored a touchdown for the Bills today. I mean, bruh, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, Cleveland, the gift that keeps on giving. That's all I can say. So, yeah, man, it was a good day of football. It's a game on the night. Of course, we had to do a show here. So, with that said, let me go ahead and greet y'all in the chat. Smooth Approach, what's good? Vagrant, good to see you. 1 in 100 podcast, always a pleasure, man. Amir. And I'm Robert Ramo Jr. That's what's up. I had to watch it. What up? He said the Browns can't catch a break. Nope, they can't. That they are trained with no breaks going downhill. It is not good in Cleveland. Cleveland, y'all got problems. Y'all baseball team is on one, but y'all football team, it is not good. It is not good. So yeah. So what's going on? Resident 76, good to see you. Glad you're here. So yeah, man. So, this weekend, of course, everybody knows was a big event in New York City. Before I get there, though, let me I want to shout out Pittsburgh's finest, DJ Big Phil, who became a pawpaw this weekend. And so congratulations to DJ Big Phil. For those of you who don't know, DJ Big Phil is a dope DJ out of Pittsburgh. He's a comic book collector. He's the guy responsible for the Collections in Black museum, I guess you could say it, exhibit that's going on right now in the August Wilson museum area in Pittsburgh right now. So he's a dope collector, whatever, but he became a grandfather this weekend. So I want to shout him out. Man, I'm glad you pawpaw first. I can wait. I can wait on being a grandfather. But I think that's dope that you got it. Grandchildren are amazing. And I'm happy for you, brothers. Shout out to your family. Y'all continue to just share that baby and love on that baby. That's dope, man. Real life, these books are dope. These comics are great, but there's nothing like family. And a new edition always makes things cool. I tell people that children are God's way of letting you know there's something to live for tomorrow. So shout out to my man, DJ Big Phil. So anyway, we're talking about New York Comic-Con. All right, now, so wasn't a lot of news that came out of New York Comic-Con concerning our books and our characters. Just wasn't. It was almost a nothing burger. But it wasn't a nothing burger. Let me tell you why. Because one of our dope brothers that's in the community, Otis Black Lion Otterberry, who had a table at New York Comic-Con, was down there selling some merchandise. He's got some dope collections, man. I mean, guy's a sculptor, guy's a tattoo artist. I mean, Otis is just an amazing, biggest Black Panther fan that I know. But he was down there, right? And, he debuted something at New York Comic-Con. I want my man Derek to run this small clip. So it's something that you guys are going to be able to probably get into if possible. So run that, let them know, let's show them what's up, Derek. Show them what's up.
Good Black Lion at New York Comic-Con, booth 1771, Nations Toys Collective. This is the exclusive BCL Happiness is Comics t-shirts. I only got 10 of them, various sizes, various colors. Once they're gone, they're gone. After this, they'll be on sale later on, but this is the first place that you can get the first one. So if you're a member of BCL or want to be a member of BCL, this right here is what you need.
All right. So yeah, there is a Happiness is Comics shirt. My man Otis put together a dope shirt with Franklin. Franklin type characters, what I'm gonna say, on the cover or whatever, with a bunch of different books on a spinning rack, our books on the spinning rack. And there is a BCL exclusive. There it is right there. The reason why it's a BCL exclusive is because the book that Franklin is holding is Black Cotton issue number 6. That actual cover is the BCL variant. There are only 250 of those comic books in existence. BCL partnered with Scout Comics to make that happen. And so now it's on a shirt. The shirt is dope, as you can see. He has also New York Comic Con exclusives. There is even an Eben exclusive with a certificate of authenticity to go with that as well, because that was given by permission from the creator of Eben, Larry Fuller. So, but that shirt there, y'all stay tuned. That's coming pretty soon. We're going to be selling those. So y'all hype style, I hope you're down to get one. We're going to be selling them. So y'all stay tuned. We're working the magic. We're getting it together, getting the machine to crank these out or whatever. So stay tuned. I wanted to show this to you guys to let you know that, yes, we weren't there physically, but our brand was there. Black Comic Laws was there. And so shout out to my man, Otis, and shout out to J. Napoleon Winston, who helped put this together and create this. It's going to be dope for the community, man. So those of you that love BCL and those of you that rock with us or whatever, I know, and you are a collector too, you're going to want one of these. They're going to be available in different colors. And so it's just going to be dope, man. We imagine walking around a con or just in your LCS with this on. I'm telling you. You want to get in on this. So I just wanted to give you guys a teaser for what we're going to be talking about later on and promoting later on. So yeah, shout out to my man Otis, man, doing this thing out there in New York Comic Con with his son. He had some of his statues available too, and those statues are amazing. And I got a chance to see some of the pictures of Jay with his wife and Zuri, his daughter. J. Napoleon Winston is one of the dopest people in our community. He was just hanging out there with New York Comic Con, and I was jealous. I wanted to be there too. I saw them pictures. They were living their best life. So, but I just had to, I couldn't do nothing but be happy for my brother my brothers, I should say. And these are some guys in our community that are just dope collectors, dope creators, dope human beings. And so, yeah, shout out to them and all the shenanigans at New York Comic Con. That's Otis there. He's wearing the New York Comic Con exclusive around his neck. And as you can see, he's got a Black Comic Lord lanyard. So he's repping the brand too. So respect to our brethren. Yes, sir. So yeah, that's what's up. So anyway, we got a show to get into. I just wanted to kind of drop that in on y'all while we get ready to get into the shenanigans on tonight. We get into a segment of our show, Low Hanging Fruit. That's a segment of our show where we talk about the news and what's going on in comics and that kind of thing too. So yeah. First up on our agenda tonight is a CBR article. Marvel is making a massive change to Luke Cage in new solo series. So yeah, it looks like we're finna get a little bit more of old man Luke, old man Luke Cage. Now, I'm grateful that it's not the old man Luke Cage from the Avengers Twilight book, because that was dusty old man Luke Cage. That was not cool. Marvel, y'all should be ashamed of yourself. That's like he getting ready to kick the bucket, Luke Cage. Not this dude here, though. So Marvel Comics has announced brand new Luke Cage series, Power Man Timeless. This will feature an older version of the character first introduced in the publisher's Timeless anthology, where Cage has the abilities of Sentry, Iron Fist, and the Hulk in addition to his own. Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing will pen the 5-issue limited series with art by Bernard Chang. Power Man Timeless #1 will feature Andre Brisson's cover and will hit comic book shelves next February. Kelly and Lansing return as scribes after helming the Luke Cage Power Man story in Marvel's Timeless, featuring the art of Juan Cabal. The end of the story teased that the character had traveled back in time and would embark on new adventures in the present-day Marvel Universe, where a current version of Luke Cage is still the mayor of New York. Power Man Timeless will have the multi-powered Luke Cage face a mysterious new enemy. Okay. Here's the solicit for it. It says Marvel's Power Man Timeless description reads, he is unstoppable, indestructible, incorruptible, immortal, and utterly alone. He is Power Man. Ripped from the breakout story in Timeless, the God-slaying, gamma-powered, iron-fisted sentry from the future Luke Cage arrives in the Marvel Universe, only to discover a foe and a mystery that will challenge even his incredible abilities. From Timeless scribes Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanning and artist Bernard Chang, Power Man is a guided tour of the solar system that only Marvel Comics could provide. Luke Cage's appearance in 2023's Timeless had him battle the immortal Moon Knight, being created by a combination of the mysterious Eternal Machine, various Stark technologies, and the God of the Moon himself, Khonshu. So this 5-issue series will be available in February. So Black History Month, we're going to get some Power Man. How you love that? So that's what's going on there. Damon Watson said Timeless #1 was good. I'd say up there with Doom. Yep, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it for sure. Looking forward to it for sure. He says, okay, the previous mission was to support Storm to issue 10, but man, I love Luke Cage. I really want this story to rock and roll. That's what's up. That's what's up. Absolutely. So our next article, let's move on. What up? What's going on? Moan, what happened? What's happening? Comic book article, comicbook.com. Absolute Martin and Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern details emerged from New York City Comic-Con. DC has been busy at New York Comic-Con with a number of major announcements across its main universe line, but the Absolute Universe got some love as well, including new close-ups and look details for Absolute Green Lantern and the latest addition to the Absolute Martian Manhunter. Bringing Absolute Martian Manhunter to life is the creative team of Denise Camp, making his DC debut, and artist Javier Rodriguez in the new series with the comic book stores in March of 2025. Martian Manhunter will join the Absolute Universe Wave 2 lineup, which features Absolute Flash and Absolute Green Lantern. Speaking of Green Lantern, we got more details on the Absolute Green Lantern from the team writer Al Ewing and artist Janoy Lindsay. Ewing revealed how Scott Snyder convinced him to join the Absolute line, and between the cover and what was said in the panel, we know that Joe Mullen, Hal, John Stewart, and Guy Gardner will all have some sort of role in the series. You've seen me when I do big stuff. I'm doing big stuff on this one. Part of the thing of this book is you know what a Green Lantern is. You do not know what a Green Lantern is in the Absolute Universe. First time anyone sees it, there's a giant Green Lantern that has crushed the town. The Green Lantern book is an object, Ewing said. Marvel announces, okay, I'm sorry, that's the next article. But if Derek, scroll down real quick in the article, you get to see some panels or some pages of the Green Lantern book. So, I think Joe Mullen, there's pictures of her. You see her right there with the cornrows or whatever. But I think there's a few other pictures at the end of the article. If you can just scroll down, Derek, so they can see. Yeah, scroll down like to the end of it almost. Yeah, right there, those pictures there. I don't know if you can blow those up or not. But there's some of the pictures right there that shows the Joe Mullen in action in the book. So, yeah, not too good of a, but that's okay. That's okay. I understand we're limited in this scope. So, yeah. But yeah, man, that's what's coming pretty soon. So y'all stay tuned for Absolute Green Lantern. Okay. Let's look at some of these comments. Frustrated says, finally here, had to finish talking about this guy here. y'all did your thing today. Y'all did your thing today, man. I gotta say, bro, yeah, Washington real. Yeah, y'all the real deal this year. Y'all the real deal this year. So what's going on? Scott Caesar. It says Luke Cage has always been mid to me. I used to call him Super Sambo when he had the tiara. Then they had the nerve to reform him by making him stop, bro. That relationship needs one more day. Oh nah, come on, Scott Caesar, bro. Come on, man. Listen, I like Luke Cage. He's not a perfect character, but he's been around for 50 years, so he deserves our respect, if nothing else. But I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. I used to laugh at what Milestone used to do with Buck Wild when they did the spoof of Luke Cage. I still laugh at that to this day. So yeah, he's still young. So Out of Watcher said, "What is the deal? Is the change for Luke Cage?" I'm not sure. I'm not sure. They're kind of going with the old aesthetic because that's what he wore in the 70s, a chain for a belt. I don't know. I'm just here for the shenanigans. I can't speak for the writers and that kind of thing. I'm going to buy it and we're going to talk about it, So, yeah. Our next comic book article, though. Marvel announces new publishing line featuring classic stories and all-star creators. A new publishing line from Marvel Comics will revisit some of the publisher's most popular stories. With New York Comic Con kicking off this week, Marvel is unveiling Marvel Premier Collection, a new publishing line featuring the company's most celebrated and prestigious storylines from an all-star list of creators. Marvel Premier Collection doesn't officially start to 2025, but we do know that the heroes that will make up the first wave include Daredevil, Black Panther, Captain America, and the Fantastic Four. Coincidentally, 3 of these have Marvel Studios projects lined up for 2025 as well. The Daredevil Born Again streaming series on Disney Plus and feature films Captain America Brave New World and the Fantastic Four First Steps. Marvel Premier Collection is the perfect jumping on point for readers to submerge themselves within the Marvel Universe. What makes the Marvel Premier Collection unique is that it's been curated into a format, that is not only sleek, but it's also high quality and easy readable in order for them to be accessible to all readers. So whether you are an old or new fan or have only digested Marvel content from the comics, TV, games, or other outlets, there should be something for you to enjoy in the Marvel Premier Collection. This is interesting, guys, in that, hey, we've been saying all this time what Marvel should do with some of these older stories. Reprint them, sell them for $1, whatever. Clearly, this is for the casual fans. It's not for the hardcore fans because most of the hardcore have these books in their collections already. So, the Marvel Premier Collection begins in February 2025 with the release of Daredevil, Born Again, and Black Panther, A Nation Under Our Feet. I brought this article to us because the Ta-Nehisi Coates and Brian Still Freeze, who did the original run, is going to be featured in this. It is one of my favorite runs as far as Black Panther story by Coates is concerned. I know people love the Intergalactic Republic of Wakanda, whatever they call that thing these days, but this is my favorite story run from Coates, and so you'll be able to get this. I'm assuming that it's going to be along the lines of what DC is doing with the Far Sector book and with some of the other DC titles. So it's going to be something that, in a trade, I'm guessing, that you can pick up. So, I think we should check for it when it does come out. You know what I'm saying? If you want to turn somebody on to the book or whatever, or to Black Panther as a character, you go no wrong with Black Panther and The Nation Under Our Feet. And the Born Again Daredevil, which by Frank Miller, which is probably the best Daredevil story, in my opinion, ever. Okay, I like Chip Zdarsky's run on Daredevil, but Born Again was the business. Here's another one, Captain America: Winter Soldier by Ed Brubaker. That's a good one too. That it is what it is. Now I am going to probably pick up the Fantastic Four: Solve Everything by Jonathan Hickman. I may have one or two books on that actual story arc, but I'm not fully familiar with that story, so I may pick that up. So they trying to give you something, a little bit something for everybody. The thing is, this starts in 2025. The Black Panther comes out in February, actually February 4th. And the Captain America: Winter Soldier comes out April the 1st. Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four run does not come out until June of 2025. Now, Terrell McMillan, he sends us, got the super chat. What up? He says, yo, point blank, they need to reintroduce Luke Cage correctly, period. Originally, never mind these microwave the millennium ideas. I feel you, bro. Derek, let's go. So Scott Caesar says, I used to hate the character talking about Luke Cage until Sanford Green run with Iron Fist. Yeah, that's a pretty good run, I gotta say. Although he's not my cup of tea, I hope the hardcore fans get more respect than the Night Thrasher fans did. That part. For sure. Next article is a bleeding cool article. The Power Company versus the Waller Was Right movement from DC in 2025. In January 2025. This is kind of big, y'all. This is kind of big, I gotta say, for DC. In January 2025, now, for the purists, it may not be a big deal, but I'm gonna get it, and I like it. January 2025, DC Comics published DC Power: Rise of the Power Company, #1, with Josiah Power going after the Waller Was Right movement. In Absolute Power, Amanda Waller turned off the world's superpowers, heroes and villains alike, and made deals to isolate the Earth from alien, multiversal, and time-traveling threats. The superheroes punished her for this, imprisoning her and removing her memory of them. But there was very little examination of whether she was actually right or not. I know Paul is going to love this. In January 2025, DC Comics published DC Power: Rise of the Power Company by Brandon Thomas, Vita Ayala, John Jennings, Zipporah Smith, Ray Anthony Height, Kanan White, Kelsey Ramsey, and Charles Stewart III. Some heavyweights on here. With the Waller Was Right movement and the reintroduction of the superpower lawyer Josiah Power, a team to fight back was put together, the Power Company. Originally, the Power Company were created as superheroes for hire by Kurt Busiek and Tom Grummett in JLA number 61 in 2002, and span off into the Power Surge one-shots. I got a few of those myself, and the Power Company 18-issue series. With Josiah Power, one of America's best lawyers until his metagene was triggered, he was dismissed from his law firm and who put together a for-hire team of heroes along the lines of a law firm, including Manhunter, Skyrocket, which is the sister, Witchfire, Firestorm, Sapphire, and Striker Z. Now they have a brand new team. He said, Waller was right, I told you. Anyway, this guy here, man. So anyway, the new team includes Joe Mullen's Green Lantern, Jace Fox's Batman, Cyborg, Black Lightning, and Wallace West's Kid Flash, Bolt, and Vixen, according to these covers. Not only protect Black and brown communities from these new threats, but also rebuild human faith in heroes. Yeah. Looks like we might have an all-Black DC team in February, or I should say January. I ain't mad at it. I can't be mad at it. Just can't be mad at it. So I know some of y'all gonna poo-poo it, saying these not original characters. These are derivatives of original characters and blah blah blah. I know, I know, I know. However, don't let that stop you from going to the shop and picking this up. To see an all-black team at DC, not only historic, they should have been did this, okay? Now they doing it. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to have a bunch of black writers and artists on the book. So can't be mad at that. Bo Big, what's happening? Good evening. What up, Bob? With the super chat. Let's go. Yeah. So Paul points out that Josiah Stone, Vixen, Cyborg, and the Signal are all original characters, which they are. But there's going to be a few legacy characters. I ain't mad at it. Like I said, I'm going to get it. Vagrant says, Duke Thomas, I love this story coming out. We are Robin. Yep. Yeah, man. This is coming. This is actually happening. When I first saw this, I kind of like scratched my head. And I kind of said that I was done with DC Power books. I feel like Don Corleone. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Just when I was about to wash my hands of DC Power books, I gotta say, man, it's hard to say no to this. We've been looking for this for as DC's concerned for a minute. We want the same thing at Marvel, but for whatever reason, we've gotten, kind of like, glances like The Crew, a little bit of it almost with the Ultimates. But, hey, man, Brandon Thomas, John Jennings, Ray Anthony Height on the art, Kanan White. Come on, bro. Corey Randolph on the cover. Tell me y'all not going to buy this. Tell me. We got to mess with this, y'all. And I know they give us the blues but it's hard to say no to this. It really is. I gotta say. And then, like the situation with Amanda Waller, there is that thought that, maybe she was right. Maybe she's a villain. Maybe she's not. Maybe she just misunderstood. They finna play in that sandbox a little bit longer. Can't be mad at it. So yeah. So anyway, this goes on sale January 29th. It will be available in card stock. And the price on it, $3.99. You want the card stock, $4.99. So it's actually friendly. It's consumer friendly. Solid Walker says, nah, B, this is cool, but I want a milestone reboot. But I'll get the #1 for the collection though. Solid, that's what I'm talking about. I ain't saying you gotta, we're getting ready to get now. I didn't bring it up, but we can kind of talk about it next month. Shadow Cabinet is coming out. So we're going to get some Shadow Cabinet by Milestone, done by Joe Illich. So next month, we will have a Milestone book in our collections. So they're on their way back. It took them a minute. They knew they had to come back with something, and something big. And I feel like Shadow Cabinet is as big as it gets. Because we all got, the original Milestone stuff, the icons, the rockets, the hardware stuff, the Blood Syndicate stuff. I don't know if we're going to get another season of Blood Syndicate. There's no word on whether or not that's coming back, but, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Shadow Cabinet is coming next month. Mike's Total Dragon says, bring Black Blood Syndicate, bring back Boogeyman, you cowards. You know what? I don't, look, I like Boogeyman. Are they gonna do something with him? I don't know. They did have Dog in the last book, so we'll see. If they brought Dog back, they probably gonna bring Boogeyman back at some point. Hypestyle says maybe Orpheus returns from the dead, and we get to see Mal Duncan and Karen Beecher too along the way. Maybe Ty Rock ducks his head in and asks to borrow somebody's stereo boost. Anything's possible, man. It's comics. What can you say? It's comics. It's comics. It's comics. It's comics. So, yo, that's all the news we got for tonight. We're going to transition at this point to Collector's Corner. Collector's Corner is a segment of our show where I like to just bring out some certain things from my collection, things that, maybe give you an idea of some ways to collect or some things you might want to collect. I originally wanted to do something different tonight, but I voted against it. I voted against it. All I had to do was make the decision. I decided not to do it. I'll do it later. But I wanted to kind of bring in two different brands tonight. The first brand is Brotherman. Brotherman by David J.A. Sims and Guy Sims, first introduced in April of 1990. This is a dope book to have from the 90s. Big City Comics, dope book, dope comic book. Total of 11 issues of the original run. I have all 11 issues of the original run. I also have first and second prints. Somebody recently asked, how can you tell the difference between the first print, second print, third print, or whatever? And one of the things I was told was that the address in the first print is printed on the inside of the book, which is 273 North Grove, East Orange, New Jersey. Okay? That's on the inside of the book itself at the bottom. The second, let me show you. Here at the bottom, right here, where my finger is. Okay? The second print, it says that it's second print. Okay? And it is also at the bottom. I'm sorry. On this side here, I'm tripping. Got my finger in the way. Where is it, Rich? Okay, right down here. But it says second print. So, and the address is different. This address is in Irving, Texas. So that's how you can tell. The New Jersey address is the first print. Irving is the second and third print. But the second print, it should say second print as far as the number one books, as far as this goes. So there's that book there. I think it's dope to have in your collection. It's a great story, great character, man. Original character. And I have the whole collection here. So I'll just show you these real quick. This is issue number 2. Issue number 3. Dope hip hop style covers, you can see. Issue number 4. Issue number 5, which is of course signed. Some of these are signed. Issue number, I'm sorry, that was number, yeah, no, this was number 5, I'm sorry. This is number 6. Number 7. I tried to have these in order. Number 8. Some of these are hard to find. Some of these are easy to find, but a lot of them are not, especially the last issue. Number 9. And there's number 10. And you can see that signed as well. And this last one here, number 11. And so what makes this significant, it took like a year for this to come out. Guys that put this together kind of went through some death in the family, that kind of thing, lost. So it took a minute for that issue to come out. But Brotherman is a dope book to collect. And dope story is, funny, engaging. And I love it because it says right there, everything's gonna be all right. Sound like a black man. Sound like something the Brotherman said. So yeah, Bateman reminds me, please hit the like button. Absolutely. Please like, share, and subscribe. The next thing I want to talk about is for Collector Corner. Moan says, I just pre-ordered my copy. Thank you for the super chat. Let's go.
Show me the money. Yeah! Louder! Show me the money. I need to feel you, Jerry. Show me the money. Jerry, you better yell. Show me the money. I love black people.
That's what's up. So, yo, next thing I want to talk about is not a comic book, but a magazine. So, Alter Ego is a magazine that covers golden and silver age books, but they will sneak some copper stuff in there. But for the most part, it's a golden age and silver age book. This is the book here. This is issue number 47. Issue number 47 covers the art of Matt Baker. Matt Baker is first black artist, one of the best in the business. Everybody that has seen Matt Baker's art loves Matt Baker's art because this guy was basically they made the Comics Code because of this dude. He was able to draw very, very well, draw ladies very, very well. Good girls is that they used to call them. So yeah, but this book here covers the art of Matt Baker. I think you should get this for your collection if possible. And if you want a deeper dive, if you want to like really learn about something like when it comes to black superheroes, right? This book here, issue number 173, the whole book is devoted to black superheroes. As you can see, there's Luke Cage, there's Black Goliath, and there's Falcon in his original uniform. Okay, they cover all the stories in this book for the most part about different black characters, black creators. Billy Graham is in this book, I want to say. And there is a story in here, an interview. William Foster III, who created the book Looking for a Face Like Mine. Let me go grab it real quick. That's a significant book as well. Just go to the portal, like Derek likes to say. This book here, Looking for a Face Like Mine, great book. It's, if you're a collector and you love comics and that kind of thing, this is the one that you want to have in your collection just because who William Foster III is. Professor, academic, you know what I'm saying? He's like the Godfather almost. Well, Joe Illidge is the Godfather, but this is like the granddaddy, I would say, when it comes to our comic book characters and that kind of thing and covering them. But he wrote this book here, and there's a very, very good interview with him in this book. Okay, so good that they had to do it in two parts. So in this book is part 1, and in this book 174 is part 2. So you might want to try to see if you can pick these up. And yeah, so I think Derek put a link in. Says the whole issue can be found here. Yeah. So, again, I'm a collector. I want the magazines. I want them in my hands. I love digital stuff. It's cool for what it is, but I gotta have it. But you can, like to Derek's point, you can check all that stuff out. So Mark Baker sounds like a good time rum option. It's funny. So, yeah. So anyway, those are just some books, and like I say, this one here, this book ain't cheap. You ain't gonna find this on the eBay machine for $5. You're gonna pay a little bread if you want this book here, because it's rare. I think he did make a statement, I think about a year or so ago, that he was getting ready to do I think he's reprinting this one, but he's also adding some stuff to a new book as well. So y'all stay tuned for Dr. William Foster to bless us again with another book. So he's written other books as well, but this is clearly the standout book, Looking for a Face Like Mine. So it's got different essays in it. It's a pretty dope book, dope read or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So this is for the guys that want to do the deep dives and that kind. It's a black comic lord thing, black collectors type of deal, if I can say it like that. So yeah. So that concludes our story on, or not story, but our segment on Collector's Corner. If you guys have ideas that you want to share in terms of what I should cover in terms of collectings, that kind of thing, I had thought about doing, something on cards. I have a few cards, not a lot, but I know that there are guys that do that, dabble in that kind of thing, and they know a whole lot more than I do. But yeah, so we're going to cover, cards, and we'll do different things, some books, that kind of thing. But just as a collector, you know what I'm saying? I love comic books or whatever, but I like to get outside the books and look at other stuff, whether it's magazines or that kind of thing. It's just, I think it's something cool about it. So yeah. So with that said, guys, we're going to go ahead and get ready to go to commercial. But before we do, we want to remind you that Stranger Comics is an amazing brand featuring Niobe and the whole world of Asunder. And if you go to strangercomics.com, www.strangercomics.com, you can go to the website, you can peruse it, you can find different books, you can find different posters, that kind of thing, whatever you find on that website, and you decide you want to purchase, you can get a discount. There is a discount code that says that you can use it, put in BCL under your discount code, and you're going to get 10% off of your order. So yeah, check it out. And as for we know, it's not going away nowhere time soon. So as long as BCL is around and Stranger Comics is in business, as far as we know, you can put in BCL and you'll get 10%. Sebastian loves what we do here. We love what he does. We partnered together, and we wanted to give you guys an opportunity to grab some cool merchandise and get a discount for it. So go check out Stranger Comics, man. They were at New York Comic Con. Check out their IG page, man. It goes down over there. Shout out to Sebastian and the good folks at Stranger Comics. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. When we come back, we are going to talk to you guys, and whatever it is on your mind, let's have at it. You want to argue? I might a little bit. Want to discuss? Whatever. New comic books? Let's make it happen. Be right back.
When Batman asks you, are you willing to die for your cause? You best believe it. It means you just might messing around with the Dark Knight. But there's a darker knight on the scene named Orpheus. This Rich recommends is Batman Orpheus Rising. It is a 5-issue miniseries written by Alex Simmons and drawn by Dwayne Turner. Gavin King, aka Orpheus, meets Batman while investigating a series of cops dying by way of homicide. And get this, they think they are racially motivated. Ain't that a switch? Nevertheless, all these homicides are going down, and it seems as if these cops were no man's land veterans. Check that run out too. Either way, Orpheus goes to the Hill, the place that Batman rarely goes, to confront a gang called the Deacons. In fact, you should go check out Batman the Hill for that revelation. Anyway, Batman being Batman doesn't care for vigilantes in his city that he didn't or doesn't train. The nerve. But Orpheus is just trying to give black children a black superhero. How you love that? They work it out, of course, and save the day. Side note, Orpheus does die for his cause in another tale, Batman War Games. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. to our YouTube channel. Until next time, peace.
What's good, Comic fam? I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Concrete Comics, and I'm also pretty sure you guys are familiar with Freestyle Comics. Well, what if I told you they were partnering together and give you guys an amazing promo code? So listen, here's the deal. You go to any one of these websites, you're gonna save 20% off by using this promo code. Now, if you spend more than 50 bucks, you're gonna get free shipping. You can't beat this. And when I talk to you about industry standard or better storylines and art, I mean, you're really not beating Freestyle Comics. You're definitely not beating Concrete Comics. Listen, this is not a sponsorship. I've literally read all of these books and they're fire. So stop crying and start buying. Concrete Comics, Freestyle Comics, joining forces. Make sure you use this promo code. You're gonna get 20% off. You spend more than 50 bucks, you're gonna get free shipping. We out.
We back. Yes. So, man, oh man. Before we get into chat talk or whatever, I do want to give you guys a recommendation. What Black Panther Wakanda Atlas has touched down at Ollie's. Wakanda Atlas. This is a book about the country of Wakanda. You know how you pick up an atlas and you see the country and learn about the country and that kind of thing? Well, this is what this is all about. But you can now go to Ollie's and pick this up. This was a $30 book when it came out. Now it's $5.99. Shout out to all of y'all that got an Ollie's in your city or in your immediate area. Yeah. Wakanda Atlas. Now, when I first saw this, I wanted it, but I wasn't going to pay 30 bucks because I'm not a part of Black Panther fan group. I'm not a part of the Cult of Boss. I'm not a part of hashtag Recast T'Challa. But I am part of the Ollie pick up and get a discount squad. So yeah. So if you got a Ollie's, y'all might want to go down there and try to pick one of these up. Wakanda Atlas. I bought two of them. I just because it was $5.99, baby. I'm like, yeah, I need to go and grab a couple of those. So yeah. Ollie's, man, good cheap stuff. That's what they call it. So yeah. So anyway, it's written by Evan Narcisse. So it's a legit Marvel book. You know what I'm saying? Evan Narcisse is a dope writer. So yeah, y'all go get that, man. Yeah, go get that. He says, Hype Style says, Wakanda has them at the Scholar, the Metro Dallas Fort Worth area. Yeah, I tell you what, Hype Style. I got mine at the Ollie's over off of Altamere. I got mine at by the Altamere right there by not too far from Collected. You know, right there. I'm pretty sure you know where that's on that, but yeah, that's where I got it. So they right here in DFW. Y'all go get that. Y'all go get that. He said, like, I feel like they've replaced Big Lots. Well, Big Lots is still around, but Big Lots doesn't do books. You know, and you gotta remember too, not too long ago, the Luke Cage omnibus was available. I didn't even buy it. The only reason why I didn't buy the omnibus was because I literally got all the Luke Cage books. I got all the Hero for Hire books. I got all of the Luke Cage Power Man books. So it was like, if I buy this is just literally just me buying a book that's gonna sit on my shelf with no purpose or no meaning. And it was only 30 bucks, and most omnibuses are $125. So I passed on it or whatever. But you could literally get, you know, a Luke Cage omnibus, the Luke Cage Hero for Hire omnibus for $30. Yeah. So yeah, man. Check your local Ollie's, bro. It goes down. I went in there to buy some some cookies, some cookies and some candles, I think it was, whatever. But I went down the book aisle and saw those. I was like, yep, it's about to go down. And after I showed it, I mean, after I found it, I went to Black Comic Lewis and I put it up. So yeah. So anyway, y'all go get that. And all those Wakanda Forever figures. They got a whole lot of them at Ollie's. Whole lot of them. And say you can get those, you can get the Eternals, you can get a whole lot of stuff. What's going on, JT? What's good to see you, bro? Yeah. James J. Stat said they did Orpheus wrong. Yeah, well, you know, that's DC for you. That's DC for you. But that Batman Orpheus Rising, that is an amazing 5-issue mini. That's why I recommended it, and you know, everybody should want to put that in their collection, because Orpheus could have definitely been a dope superhero that they could have really used and could have been a part of the Bat family. So yeah. So anyway, what you guys want to talk about tonight? You know what I'm saying? This is chat talk, so spoof on Luke Cage, can you tell me more? A spoof on Luke Cage. What are you talking about? You talking about the Milestone books? Buckwild? You talking about that? I had to watch it. That's what I was talking about as far as the that goes. But yeah, Milestone back in the day, they did, and that was an icon. That was an icon. I don't know the book numbers, the issue numbers. What I have to literally look it up. I'm pretty sure Derek can look it up. But there are a couple of issues in the original Volume 1 Icon run where there is a character called Buckwild, and he is clearly a spoof of Luke Cage. Actually, he is a spoof of Luke Cage, Tyrok, and a few others. But I mean, it is hilarious. It is hilarious, and he is a hero. And you know, but the stuff that goes down, it is just, bruh. They roasted Luke Cage in that run. Tron World, what's happening? So I missed the community and hope to catch up after the new year. That's what's up. Behind the scenes, he says Dwayne McDuffie had a great sense of humor. I think creators take comics and stories too seriously at times. Jim Crow is another fun stab at Falcon. Yeah, bro, he goes in. He roasts Falcon. He roasts Black Lightning. He Brother Voodoo. I mean, it was hilarious. Dwayne McDuffie is probably the OG troll of comics. There's Herschel, and then there's Dwayne McDuffie. McDuffie's roast game was serious. That dude, man, and the people over at Milestone were hilarious. That's why it hurts, man, so much that when Milestone disappeared, the community missed that. They missed that satire. They missed that art, that poke fun. I mean, I like Dion's. It was a massacre. Yes, man. It was. Man, that was good. That was such great art. Blur Forever. What's going on with the super chat? You got a lot of questions. I'll answer them after we run the super chat. Let's go, Derek. Okay, so he asked a question. The first question is, what are your top 3 event stories from Marvel and DC? Okay, event stories. God Loves, Man Kills by X-Men, Christopher Claremont, number 1. Number 2 from Marvel, probably probably the original Secret Wars, the original Secret Wars, and Civil War will be my number 3. So the X-Men story, God Loves, Man Kills, Secret Wars, the original Secret Wars, and Civil War, the first Civil War, as far as events. DC, it's a little tricky because there is always the Crisis event, the original Crisis event. So there's that. Injustice. And I'm going to pick one out of left field because a lot of people didn't like it, but I liked it for what it was. And that was the Heroes. God dog it, I can't think of the name of it. It's the basically it was the DC event where the heroes were seeing a therapist. All of the superheroes were seeing a therapist. Heroes Crisis, I think that's the name of it. May have been the name. I can't get the name of it. Why is it escaping me? But yeah, I like that one. JT probably knows the one I'm talking about. But I thought that was pretty cool. He says, number 2, he says, do you have an idea for an IG event story? Not really as far as an event story. Event stories, the overarching event stories, they're okay, but they always fall short. Now, I did mention, I take it back, not the Heroes, not that one. Heroes in Crisis. That's the story, but I changed my mind. Not that story. My number 3 has got to be Deceased. So erase Hero Crisis, and it's Deceased. Deceased was amazing. So yeah. So I like Identity Crisis, too frustrated. So as far as DC goes, the first Crisis event, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Deceased, and Injustice. So I really don't have a story, an event story. It's just I have an idea for where Monica Rambeau be elevated to an elder like the Collector, the Gardener, and the In-Betweener. That could be intriguing. You know what's interesting about the Gardener or whatever? They introduced her or whatever, and I'm not sure if she's still around. I'm not reading the Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn type stuff, so I wouldn't know. I know that she was, I think, Poison Ivy's girl at one time. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure what they're doing with her, if anything. So yeah. Frustrated says, JT said, Deceased was amazing. Rat City Spider-Man books were a snooze fest. I'm losing my patience. At least the Miles book was decent. I may get back on the wagon for now. My man doing costume changes like he on SNL. You know, the Rat City Scott Caesar is definitely an acquired taste. I think it's a snooze fest because I think we're expecting more out of it when it's really like Spider-Man 2099 or whatever. I guess it's supposed to be Spawn 2099, but it's just moving. It's kind of slow. It's really not a lot of action in it, and you know it's kind of like yeah, I could have kept this. So I get the sentiment for it. I'm trying to enjoy it for what it is. The Spider-Man book, I dropped that from my LCS. I definitely did that. I got tired of that. That it's a new story arc too. Issue number 8 started a new story arc, but I told my guy I'm done. Take it off my pull list. So Behind the scene with the super chat. What up? It says everyone name their top 3 all-black superhero team in comics: Marvel, DC, Indies, etc. We got the super chat. Let's go, Derek. For me, Dion, it would be the Blood Syndicate, absolutely. The Crew, Black Panther and the Crew, I should say. As far as Indies, kind of hard, man. It just really is. There's just not a lot. The Almighty Street Team is one. I love Delta Dogs. Delta Dogs by Millennium. Shout out to my man Varnell. I do love Delta Dogs for sure. Imagine Blood Syndicate HBO animated series, the potential had. We could have been eaten like kings for sure. King Spawn and Spawn are good lately. Yes, they are. DC has been avoiding the story of Poison Ivy versus Swamp Thing. I don't know why how they keep missing that story. That's a good point. The last Swamp Thing run was pretty good. And here's something that you can get out of a dollar bin. If you go back and get the Future State Swamp Thing, it was only 2 issues. Future State Swamp Thing. That was a good, real short story. I think you guys would enjoy that. Otherwise, I just ordered Icon number 13. That's what's up. You're going to enjoy that, bro. James Thomason, Blood Syndicate, Bitterroot antagonist. I didn't even think about the antagonist, JT. That's got to be in the list, too. Now, Primal One goes and he goes way back. He pulls Tribe. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting too. We're getting ready to get this all-black DC team, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking to see what they can do, especially with John Jennings helping to write it. You know what I'm saying? And Brandon Thomas, man, it's gonna be pretty cool. And don't forget, next month, my man's back in the shop. Black Lightning is back in the building. So I'm looking forward to that next month for sure. The Ultimates had my 3 Black Panther, Spectrum, Blue Marvel. Yep. Carol Chavez and Carol and Chavez can exit stage and never come out again. They had to have their tokens. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He says, there's a good Swamp Thing story that nobody's done yet. Who was Swamp Thing back in the U.S. Southern slavery era? I would like to read or write that storyline. Man, that's, ooh. You got something else, Lifestyle. You got something there. Huh. I definitely would read that for sure. Definitely would read that. JT says Black Lightning has a Sanford Green cover, I believe. I do. I pre-ordered it. Yes, sir. I'm getting cover A and that cover. I think it's cover C. I won't be able to get the 1 in 25 because I don't think nobody's going to order 25 copies of Black Lightning. So even though it is a #1 and Black Lightning has not been in the book in 6 years, I don't know if they could be able to sell 25 books. I would like to think that they could to get a 1 in 25 in my shop, but I just don't think that's going to happen. So he says Swamp Thing for slavery because Swamp Thing, he will be made from collard greens. Stop. I watched it. They did a Ghost Rider who was formerly enslaved in the USA South. Yeah. Have you been reading the Space Ghost comic from Dynamite? It's awesome. No, I have not, Ray. I might have to go grab that since you say it's awesome. I've seen it on the shelf. I have a few Space Ghost stories. Comics in my collection. I just didn't jump on because for whatever reason, Dynamite has this thing where they will put out certain things and it will be okay. and then there'll be just a bunch of stuff that they just offering, and nothing like really stands out. I have this weird relationship when it comes to Dynamite because I just don't trust everything they do because they put out some books. David Walker did a book for them, and it was a vampire book, I want to say, and it was okay for like no, that wasn't David Walker. That was Christopher Priest. Christopher Priest did this book, and it was okay for a couple of issues, and then it got real boring, so I dropped it. And so there are a lot of Dynamite books out there, whatever, but Dynamite has been, in my opinion, inconsistent. But I will give it a look. I know that there are some Space Ghost books still on the shelf, so I'll probably be able to, kind of catch up, maybe grab number 1 and number 2 to catch up. I was a Space Ghost fan from back in the day watching the cartoon, so I never was really a big fan of the comic, though. But even though I have some of the comics, the original comics. Zabingo says, too bad Christopher Priest is usually really good. He is, you know what I'm saying? I just think that, you can only do so much. Now, Christopher Priest has a relationship at Dynamite. He wrote a lot of Vampirella books. So, if that's your thing, if that's what you kind of like to read, then, you might get some joy out of it or whatever. But I know that really isn't my strong suit. I mean, I really wasn't impressed with I wasn't really impressed with the Black Adam book. I did like the Superman Lost book that he wrote. The Superman Lost book was crazy, and it was up for Eisner. I didn't think it was that good, but I thought it was good, but not Eisner worthy. But it was nominated. So yeah. He says, unless I'm messing up the name, he did Black Panther, yes, and more recently a crazy good run on Deathstroke. He did. The Christopher Priest run on Deathstroke is fire. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, his Black Panther run is legendary. His run on Deathstroke is legendary. Priest has written some good stuff. He did a U.S. agent. It was like 5 issues. It was pretty good, but nobody bought it. Nobody bought it because nobody really likes U.S. agent. You know what I'm saying? This is way before the Captain America's, and Falcon or Falcon and the Winter Soldier comic book. I mean, not comic book, but the show on Disney Plus. But it was cool. It was cool. Blur Forever again with the super chat says, your thoughts of Ta-Nehisi Coates' short-lived crew run, and who could be in it, revised crew, and who should write it? Let's go, Derek.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
I thought the crew was good. I thought the crew was real good. I would like to see David Walker get a shot at the crew. If he was interested in doing that. I don't know if we've got any David Walker Black Panther type stories. David Walker wrote, Luke Cage, Power Man books for a minute, and some other stuff that he's done. But I would like to see him get a shot at it for sure. Yeah. And as far as who could be in the crew, just use the same squad. Storm, Black Panther, War Machine, maybe even Deathlock. Michael Collins, bring him back. So, yeah. Frustrated asks, what stories do you think so far should be up for Eisners? Well, the Eisners have already been decided. Philadelphia got it nominated for Eisner, but I think Philadelphia lost to Nightwing. So the Eisner awards have already been issued for this year. But I thought Philadelphia should have been nominated. I felt like it should have won, but people liked Nightwing, better for whatever reason. The All Negro Comics 75th anniversary edition, that book won an Eisner. There's not a lot of books, in my opinion, that are just out today that just Eisner worthy. I think some stuff just is kind of like the Oscars, you know what I'm saying? Some stuff get nominated and get voted to be to win. But you ever watch the Oscar show and then some movie that you've never seen, even heard of, wins? It's kind of like the same thing in a way. So yeah. Vagrant says Ta-Nehisi knows his stuff history-wise. We Were 8 Years in Power was a great book. Well, his new book, The Message, is getting a lot of run right now. JT says Superman Lost was really good. Want to see Priest do a Steel, John Stewart, Green Lantern book. Yeah. Primal One says with Dynamite, they are usually lacking, especially in the art department. The artist doing the interiors is usually crap. Rarely do you get a meh artist. A good one, that's like finding Tumbleweed's space. Behind the scene, my biggest problem with Batman Full Moon was that Batman didn't believe in the supernatural when he's dating Zatanna and knowing Constantine. Well, see, that's the complexity of who Batman. Batman does not like magic. Matter of fact, Batman hates magic because it's a realm he can't control. He has to have someone like Zatanna or Constantine there to kind of help him deal with those things, because that's kind of who he is. Batman is, for all intents and purposes, probably an atheist. If we're keeping it a stack, you know what I'm saying? He probably doesn't believe in God, but he deals with the supernatural, so he believes in higher powers, quote unquote. But if you've read Batman over the years, whatever, he's just the kind of guy that just does not like to be. He's a control freak. He has to be in control. Why do you think that when people vigilantes show up in Gotham and he doesn't know them, kind of like what happened with Orpheus, he always goes at them. That Gotham is my city. Get out. That kind of thing. That's just kind of how he is. So yeah. Mawan says, I've been getting back into this series called The Astonishing Times. If anyone read this series, it's pretty good. Okay, Astonishing Times. That's interesting. Let me write that down. I might have to do some digging on that, bro. Who's the publisher on that, Mawan? Frustrated says, revised crew, Night Thrasher, Cloak, Sink, Bishop, and Sam Wilson, Cap. Okay. I like the incorporation of mutants. It's so weird what's going on in X-Men, or what the X-Men banner over at Marvel right now. I'm only reading X-Force. Shout out to Jeffrey Thorne. And it's not because I just want to read. I'm just not really feeling the X stuff right now. I'm not sure where they're going to go with it. The Storm book, I'm buying it. I'm looking to see where it goes. I want more for sure. But the X-Men stuff, man, I really would like a little bit more Sync, a little bit more Bishop, a little bit more Prodigy. I really want some mutants, some black mutants on squad or whatever, Gentle and that kind of thing. But I don't know. Maybe I'm asking for too much. I had to watch it ask a question. He says, when will Marvel release My Superhero is Black? I had to watch it. I cannot say 100% when. The only reason why I'm saying that is because it's literally one of those things where they undertook this task, and the task has proven to be a little bit more than they could shoot. Because Marvel has a lot of black characters. And so the leg work that goes into it, that kind of thing. Yeah, that book, we thought that book was going to be out last year. But we're not really sure when that's going to happen. I wish I had a better answer for you, bro. We've asked questions, but as far as actually when, we do not know. We don't have that answer. He says, Batman isn't allowed to use magic. I forget which issue covered it. Def Rocker says, so I guess Batman is a narcissist. Oh, for sure. That's why I like Batman. That's why I like him. He's my favorite character, because the idea of Batman, if there was a real such a thing as a Batman, he would be the villain. He would be the villain. The Batman he's self-conscious. He's very much aware, self-aware. And he tries to plan for everything, and ultimately, think about this. Batman is so crazy in his own head that he created Spellsafe to ensure that Gotham would be safe from him. Now, Failsafe is literally a computerized Batman whose programming is to stop Batman, is to stop anybody associated with Batman. Because that's how crazy Bruce Wayne really is, that Batman is so out of control as an entity. I need something to keep this dude in check. Now, I got plans and contingency plans for all the superheroes, but I don't have one for myself. So that's what he said, Batman equals Trump. I wouldn't make him that demonic. I wouldn't go that far. but yeah, Batman is problematic for sure. Hypestyle says the Blackula in Philadelphia is brilliant. I'm more for exploitation characters being brought into comic. Shaft, Foxy Brown, Trouble Man, Cleopatra's, Jones 3 the hard way, guys. Let's go. Okay. The eclectic Blurty Nietzsche. Did they ever reveal what happened to Josiah X? No, they did not. Instead of making good use of black characters they already had, Marvel just made more and neglected them. That part. X-Force and Storm, for me, not getting much from Marvel in terms of mutants. The real Arandando says, can't stand Batman. I like Batman for who Batman is. And that's why he's my favorite character, because I can count on something going on with Batman that you know, he really wants to be the good guy. He really wants to do the right thing. He really wants to protect Gotham. But he's got issues. I mean, you gotta understand, this is the guy who is, you know, dealing with trauma. He's dealing with the trauma of losing his mom and dad at an early age. You know, he's got all the money in the world, but he has no peace. And the only time he gets peace is when he goes away and just drops the cowl and just lives his life. And, you know, and he's gone for years, and then he comes back after he recharges. He literally is like a machine that battery goes dead and he has to go away to recharge, and he comes back. So it says the real Rondando says there is so many black mutants that just go to waste. Yeah, I mean, it's listen, there is a lot going on when it comes to Marvel's database, and so for them to do this book and to do it justice, because here's the thing: when they put this book out, they don't want it to be said, well, you forgot about this character, you forgot about that character. What about this one over here? What about that? You forget this story? Because that's what it's going to be. That's literally what it's going to be, especially in our community. We know who some of these characters are. You know, Paul prides himself on being a hardcore black mutant. You know, he wants an all-black mutant X team. We're going to call him Onyx. Either way, let them leave somebody off the team or let somebody off the roster. Paul is going to troll Marvel until they make the addendum or the edit that put that book, that character or those characters in a book. So Def Rocker says, this is why we comparing smart billionaires to Trump. Pericles was sad. Christian Bale's Batman was most notable. He was the one that seemed to only have healed from the trauma and saved his city. Yeah. Scott Caesar says, I always wondered why more X-Men didn't leave to do their own thing. Then them yellow uniforms might as well be orange jumpsuits. Storm the only free one. Watch the gun line, boss. Yeah. Now, Def Rocker say, I thought you would say Peter Parker is the best character. I like Peter Parker for who he is. That's my favorite character. I wouldn't say that Bruce Wayne is the best character. I don't really have a best character, to be honest with you. And the reason why I don't have a very best character, because all of these characters are complex in their own way, and everything is about how they're written and how they're perceived. I mean, there was a I am a Superman guy as well. Now, I don't like everything that has been done by Superman, but there are certain stories that I really enjoy when it comes to Superman. There was a Superman story about a year or two ago from the Superman Red and Blue series, and it got him to like really see a different side of life. As a reporter, he's writing. People think about Superman saving the day and that kind of thing, but there's very little focus on Clark Kent, who Clark Kent is in life or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If there was a real Superman or whatever, you would not see Superman all the time. You would see more Clark Kent. And so some black writer, I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Kari Randolph, or it might have been Brandon Thomas. But it was a pretty dope story. And so some people don't think that you can make Superman interesting because he's such an op character, but there are literally thousands of Superman books. With Spider-Man, it's kind of the same thing. There are thousands of Spider-Man stories, but my favorite Spider-Man story doesn't even have Peter Parker in it. Spider-Man 35. It's actually, the funny thing is, the title is Peter Parker Spider-Man issue number 35. Peter Parker's not even in the book. But there are a lot of different stories that you can look at and say, man, you know what? I identify with that. Which is why a lot of black characters are underused, because you really can't deal with nuance. So that's the one thing about our characters that you don't really get to see. You don't really get to see nuance in our characters. Like T'Challa. Listen, let me just say this. Derek, I need you to run my disclaimer, because I'm going to say something that might upset a Black Panther fan or two. Okay. Now, this is not something that I think you should get upset about, but I want you to just consider something. How much nuance have we got with T'Challa? You got zero nuance when it comes to T'Challa. Why is that? If T'Challa is not beating the brakes off somebody, if T'Challa is not the number one in charge, if T'Challa ain't got all of the money in the world, if T'Challa ain't hanging out with the baddest chick in the game, talking about Storm, you guys got a problem. But there's no room for nuance or growth in his character. You guys were upset when a certain writer, I call him Johnny Law, when a certain writer wrote him and y'all saw T'Challa at his worst. And I get it. I really, really get it. But there is a lot of nuance to a person's life, a lot of complexity. We don't see the complexity with T'Challa. We see a lot of titles. We see a lot of we see a lot of different things with T'Challa, but we don't really see any nuance with him. He says, what are you talking about? He's been deconstructed 3 times in the last 10 years. I'm not talking about deconstruction. I'm talking about nuance as a character. I'm talking about him seeing a problem and wrestling with a problem. When's the last time T'Challa wrestled with anything? You guys wrestle with the writers. Y'all don't even wrestle with him as a character in and of himself. Because I like the character. I love the character. But there's nothing deep and defining about him other than he's supposed to be this. He's supposed to be that. And when he's not this and when he's not that, you guys got a problem with it. But I'm looking for this character as an individual to grow. I get the whole thing with the deconstruction went too far. I get that. But I'm saying, and this is the good writers, this has been the good writers, where we have not seen that from them. I want to see some nuance when it comes to our characters. We don't have that. We literally do not have that. All of these characters are like cookie cutter board. There's no depth to them. And this is going to shock you, Paul. You not. I know you're not going to like this. The only character, one of the only characters at Marvel that you've experienced that as far as nuance and depth is Sam Wilson. And y'all hate Sam Wilson. But you don't have, he's not this, he's not just an archetype. And that's what I want. I want more from the character. I want more development. There's more development and nuance when it comes to Wakanda, but not nuance and development when it comes to T'Challa himself. Thank goodness for the Ultimate Black Panther run, because if y'all didn't have that, y'all would be losing your mind right now. Because we don't know when the next book is going to come out, any of those things. Now, Paul says he just wrestled with the problem of being a vampire and blood hunt. Grow like what character would you give an example of? Now, I will say this. To your point, Blood Hunt did give us some depth and did give us some new things to kind of chew on when it comes to Black Panther. But historically or whatever, we have not had nothing like that in this writing. And it took Cheryl Eaton to put that out there like that. Think about that for a second, okay? This is why she should be the writer on the book, because she gave him something to wrestle with. She gave him some depth or whatever. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying with these characters. They need to be deeper. As Black men, all of us have a complexity and depth to us that most of our people, our families, our loved ones, the people we work with do not see. But that doesn't, because they don't see it, does not mean that it don't exist and that it's not a real thing in your life. So all I'm asking for is more of that. That's all. He says, grow like what character would you give an example? Again, like Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson has wrestled with this whole thing with the mantle. And even though people hate that he's having issues holding the shield or whatever, at least they are digging into his brain or digging into his psyche about what it takes to be worthy or what it takes to be to hold the mantle. At least you got that. And even with Sam Wilson, they could do so much more with that character. The thing that's going on with him and T'Challa being on the same team, you're getting some interaction between two superheroes that's worthy. That they should try to keep that dynamic. They should try to keep that dynamic, because you had that in the Justice League with Green Arrow and with I would say Batman. You had that dynamic with Superman and Batman. There's, T'Challa doesn't really have nobody that's close to him. He don't have a homie. He don't really have somebody that's like his Ace Boone Coon that can really tell him who he is, what's going on, when he tripping, give him some real advice, that kind of thing. I just want more for the character. That's all. I'm not saying that he's got to be, emo T'Challa, but I need the writers to really consider not just his mantle or not just the title. I need them to consider who he is as the man. That's all. Sam Wilson's psyche is that he'll never be enough, exactly what an example of Black man with certain people are writing. I cannot disagree with that, Paul. I can't. All I'm saying is that at least you have that to consider, bro. At least it's kind of out there for us to chew on as fans or whatever. We can say that if I was Sam Wilson, I would approach this way or whatever. I would do this instead of that. We don't ever think about that when it comes to T'Challa, because he got all the answers. You don't have to tell T'Challa what he should do, Paul, because he already got the answers. He's like Batman. He got every contingency and everything in place. He doesn't need no advice, which is weird to me, but yeah, it is what it is. Ray says, what really makes me angry is that Marvel, for some reason, has either killed, maimed, dispowered, tossed in the limbo a lot of their black characters over the last 24 years. Yeah. Anansi the Spider says, I think Storm is the closest one to T'Challa, but Marvel loves to mess that relationship every chance it gets. And, again, I don't know why they won't they should do a T'Challa and Storm book. That is just literally money to be made. Do it. But see, the problem with you Black Panther fans is y'all want it in the 616. I don't care if it's in Marvel Universe 9999999. Just give it to us. Just tell a story. Do like they did with Batman and Catwoman. Just tell a story. Just write a love story. It's easy. You ain't got to think hard about that. He says, what are the nuances in Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man? Well, for Superman in particular, here's this all-powerful character who is an alien. He's living on a planet where he's literally the quote-unquote God or the savior of the planet or whatever, right? And he's wrestling with trying to be normal. He has to pretend to be something. He doesn't wear a mask. He wears a disguise. His disguise is Clark Kent. And so he's really this dude, but he really has to fit in. He has to be this guy. So how does this guy who Lois Lane fawns over, how does he deal with life? As far as Spider-Man, one of the greatest things, with great responsibility. With great power comes responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. That right there is nuance all by itself. You can play in that trial all day. He says, stop, Cap. He says, okay, the eclectic blurting Nietzsche says, it's not only Marvel that does, DC treats black heroes badly as well. Yeah. The Black Panther Storm marriage was a bad idea. It should have never been approved. Even Christopher Priest said that they shouldn't have gotten it. I will leave that to you guys in the chat to fight over whatever. Hudson brought them together, so I'm like, okay, if that's the case, then let's play this out. Make it a whatever. I don't care. Just tell a story. I would just love them to tell a love story. I would just, if DC and DC's got Mal Duncan and Cam Beecher, you could literally tell a love story. You could do a comic book, Karen and Mal. They could just be a couple that happens to be superheroes and just tell a story of them and their relationship. Give us that. Do something like that. I mean, there are endless possibilities. We don't run out of story. We run out of we run out of us before we run out of story. You'll never run out of story. There's so much they could do with T'Challa. There's so much they could do with Storm. Shout out to Storm. I'm hoping that the book that they're doing, I'm hoping it really goes somewhere and it really tells a dope story. At the end of the day, I've said this time and time again, the definitive Storm story has yet to be written. Maybe we're in the midst of it. I don't know. But, I don't want her to just be this beautiful Black woman that's a mutant that has no connection. They have no interest in making her a wife. They have no interest in making her a mother. Things that are very virtuous in our community. But again, it all depends on who's writing her. It all depends on who's writing her. Frustrated says Batman deals with what is his true identity. You know, it's interesting. I watched the podcast one day, and the podcaster said some things about Batman I thought was pretty dope. Was that Batman's villains? He has literally, other than maybe Flash or Spider-Man, has the best rogues gallery. But the rogues gallery and Batman reflect a aspect of who Batman is, who he really is. The reason why he can't kill Joker is because really he is an agent of chaos himself. You know, imagine Batman not having imagine Batman not having to go out at night and fight crime. He would be crazy. He would lose it. He needs someone like Joker to make him relevant. The Penguin, who is really the baller in the rogues gallery of Batman, right? He represents his money, Bruce Wayne's money, and how he obtains it or whatever. Now, they've been telling stories over the years about how Bruce Wayne, how his dad got his money, how he was involved in a lot of shady stuff, or he knew a lot of shady characters. That whole thing with the Court of Owls and him his father being a part of it, those kind of things. He's peeling these layers off. Who am I really? Was my father a real good man, or was he, straddling the fence, those kind of things? There's a whole lot there, bro. Dion says, poor T'Challa can't get over Storm. The Primal One says, speaking of love stories, they need to stop the hate on hetero relationships involved. Absolutely, I agree 100%. The only couple that stays together is Reed and Sue. Everyone gets their relationship pissed on or and yeeted. Yeah. Vegas says the Court of Owls is all about the Barbados story, for better or for worse. Yeah. Himdall said, I hear what you're saying, but I do think T'Challa has nuances. Comics like The Alias of the Species, Doom War, and then Men Without Fear gave him a lot of ground to work from. Well, Himdall, here's the problem with that. Why don't Marvel dig more into those aspects? Why won't they kind of play with some of that? One of the things I like about Jeffrey Thorne is Jeff will pull out stuff like that. He will pull from stories that are not necessarily, I wouldn't say that The Dailies of the Species is an obscure run, but when you think about T'Challa or whatever, there's certain things that you want to say, okay, what I want to do with this character in this story or whatever. But I would love for them to pull from that or whatever. I would love for them to just, not just, him show up and he know everything, he got everything together, whatever, but everything is falling apart around him. I'm tired of that. Just like, I want my mans to win, but I want him to kind of struggle. The hero's journey. The hero's journey. That's what all this superhero stuff is supposed to be about, is the hero's journey. I want him to get just more. That's all. Nazi the Spider says the X-Office always had a problem with black male characters. All I know is that there's a lot to be had. There are a lot of comic books that are going to be coming out starting in November, going into the new year 2025. We're going to be able to have some dope discussions about all of it. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we'll get an announcement of when the next Black Panther book is going to be written. Because I do feel like they're kind of leaning on the Ultimate Universe. We should get something that, in my opinion, that should have came out of New York Comic-Con. Who's the next Black Panther writer? And I'm really all for Cheryl Eaton. I want her on the book. she kind of moved up to the, in my opinion, she jumped Brian Hill. I wouldn't be mad if they gave it to him, but he's doing his thing on the Ultimate book. But in my opinion, she should get that shot. She should get that shot because those 3 issues in Blood Hunt were very, very good. Very, very good. And you can literally read those 3 issues and not have to worry about reading all the other Blood Hunt stuff. That's how good it was. That's how good it was. So I'm for her to like get the book. Will they do that? I don't know. I do not know. Doll says, I agree. I think the problem with DC and Marvel, they stop too soon on black characters, and then the next writer does not respect what has occurred before them. We just jump. We just move on to something new. Yeah. There's no build-up. And it's, this is supposed to be serialized storytelling. And oftentimes it isn't. You know what I'm saying? It's and I get why they do certain things. It's kind of like what they did with the X-Men with the Krakoa era. That went for like 4 years or however long it was. I think that definitely was, they probably could have done away with that. We should have ended the Krakoan era probably about a year ago, in my opinion. But, one of the good things that did come out of the Krakoan area was Storm's ascension, if you will. So when we look back at the Krakoan era, think about this. Of all the characters in the Krakoan era, who benefited the most? Who benefited the most from this era? This time where the mutants were on a planet or in an island of their own, a place of their own. They were self-sufficient. They had the ability to resurrect. All that stuff. It was almost a utopia, so to speak. Who benefited the most from that? I think it was Storm. Brian Hill's first issue on Blade, #1, was real good. I enjoyed that. I definitely enjoyed that for sure. Yep. But anyway, guys, look, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, man. I'm going to give the benediction. But before I go, please, 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 please check out our channel, our YouTube channel. Follow us on all social media platforms at blackcomiclords.net, at Black Comic Lords on Facebook, at Black Comic Lords on Instagram, at Black Comic Lords on X, at Black Comic Lords on Facebook. All of these different places. You guys continue the discussion in the group, man. You know what? I don't know everything. I'm not no purist. I try my dear best to talk intelligently about these things and just offer perspective. I'm not the biggest Black Panther fan, you know what I'm saying? But I recognize that T'Challa, they need to really go a little deeper with him. That's just my feeling about it. You know what I'm saying? If what's been done to him the last, 3 years or so, whatever, is so devastating, maybe it's time for them to reboot. Would y'all be okay if they reboot T'Challa? If they reboot the Black Panther run? Start from scratch? Would y'all be good with that? Or do y'all want him to keep status quo? Would you be okay with him not being chairman of the Avengers? Would you be okay with him not having a relationship with, just reboot, start all the way over? Because I'm almost at a point where I would not be mad if they did that. Now, I want them to because here's the thing, you can't have it both ways. Either we're going to include everything that everybody did, or we're just going to reboot and reset and do everything else. Everything else gets reset. Would you guys be okay with resetting the top? I don't know. It would be interesting to see. And, whatever they do, I want Shirley Eaton writing that book. I want her to write that book. Paul said, hell no. The cult of boss has spoken. Primal One says, I think homie needs new villains. Now that part, the villains drive story, Primal, I 100% agree. He needs some villains. He justly needs more rogues gallery, or at least bring back a couple of them from the back. Where is Achebe at? Bring him back. You know, I'm just saying. But anyway, yes, just know that guy, that John guy already reset him. Look, y'all gonna put some respect on Johnny Law. Oh man, gotta love it. It's comics, y'all. It's comics. With that said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. The benediction comes from the book of Jude in the 21st to the 25th verse. It says, keep yourselves in the love of God, looking for the mercy of our Lord Jesus Christ unto eternal life. And some have compassion, making a difference. Others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating the garment even spotted by the flesh. But now unto them that is able to keep you from falling and to present yourself faultless before the presence of his glory and exceeding joy. To the only wise God and our Savior, be glory and majesty, dominion and power, now and forever. Amen. From the stronghold that is Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever, it's your boy Rich. And until next time, we say peace. We see you when we see you. Wednesday night, we out.